Welcome, my name is Nilaus and this is a video about my journey from 0 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers that I've hit recently here on my channel. First, a bit of background on my channel. I've been working on this channel for about 5 years. For the last 2.5 years, I've been working full-time as a content creator, both here on YouTube and on Twitch. The objective of this video is part of a series about some of the principles and methodologies I've been using on my journey to build my channel and build my personal brand. And this is the first video of the series. So the usual part goes, if you like it, hit the like button and let me know in the comment section below what other parts of sort of this journey, and if you like these kind of non-gaming content here on the channel, let me know. These videos are of course taking the basis of my journey building my own business here on YouTube, but I think the principles are not specific to YouTube, so feel free to take any lessons that applies also if you're building a product or building a business for yourself. I think they are applicable basically to any industry. In the very first video, I'm going to address the most important question that I would ask anyone who is thinking of or starting to be a content creator. And I think it's also a question that I think a lot of content creators would probably benefit from asking themselves and also answering it. The question is, why should anyone watch you? Specifically you. And it's a simple question and it seems a bit antagonistic, but it's a really valuable question, because if you cannot yourself as a content creator answer that question easily and concisely, how do you expect your viewers to understand what you bring to the table? Let's start with about the worst case example, but it's still something that would probably cover thousands upon thousands of content creators both on YouTube and Twitch answering this question. If I ask, why should anyone watch you? And they would answer, I want to be a YouTuber, I play the popular FPS, and I'm pretty good at it. Who is that? No one, everyone, anyone. There's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of people who fit that category. And if that's your brand, then you don't have a brand. You are just a generic product, and anyone, there's no distinction between you and the other streamer with 0 viewers. And this is where the advice sort of comes in. I've seen a lot of people who have made it back in the early days of YouTube and Twitch, and they keep hammering on it. If you just work harder than anyone else, you're gonna make it. That is the biggest fallacy. It is just not the case. You can get up every morning, hit the start streaming, stream 10 hours or 12 hours and end the stream and not get anywhere, because you don't have an identity. The people who happen to just drop into your channel, they don't know what you're about, because all you do is you want to be successful and you play the most popular game and you're probably pretty good at it. Yeah, sorry. If I'm interested in watching someone who's pretty good at it, why not watch the best one? Why watch some random dude that has 0 viewers? Sorry, you gotta do something unique to get anywhere. Let's do a small test. So I ask you to think of your favorite content creator. It can be a streamer, it can be a YouTuber, it can be a TikToker, I don't know. It can be any content creator on any platform. Just think of who it is, and then let me know in the comment section your favorite content creator and just a single sentence of why. Because I'm sure that you can answer that question quite succinctly, maybe even more succinctly than they can themselves, because you know that, oh, it's because this guy, he does the best something, or I watch this one because he's the best at what he does, or I watch this particular streamer because I want to watch hot tub streams because it's quality content. Whatever it is, let me know what it is. And then it's very clear that this is basically your brand. This is your brand. And what I'm arguing here is that you need to take control of your brand. You can't just let your brand be whatever, because the brand is a story that other people tell about you or your product in case of a product. And I want to argue that you need to take control of it and you need to cultivate it and do the branding, because that's what keeps you gives you an identity that attracts people like-minded who will want to watch your content. And that's what we're going to be working on here. So how are we going about this? It might be difficult if you're sitting down and you have an aspiration of being a streamer or a YouTuber, or you have started and you're working on it, but you don't really know sort of where to start and end. Then what you should be thinking about is, what are the things that make you unique? And unique is a bit strict term, because I don't expect anyone to sort of be genuinely unique in every single way. But what is the things that set you aside from the anonymous masses on these platforms? The platforms of YouTube and Twitch are extremely oversaturated. There are way more streams than there are viewers, and way more channels than there are viewers on YouTube. So if you're going to be adding one to the mass, you have to make sure that you set yourself aside so that people who actually find you will say, I like this guy because... And that's the story you need to take control of. Now let's think about it. If you want to deal in absolute terms, then it gets really difficult. If you want to be the best FPS player, then that's only one person. Let's say there could be like 5 people who could be argued about whether they are the best. And if there are 1 million players, it's probably not going to be you. So if you want to gamble for something, or if you want to be the best, and it's even in a popular game, that's a very tall order, and probably not something that you can build your success on. Because if your identity is that you are the best, then when you're no longer the best, you don't have anything else. And the same thing is for a speedrunner. If you are a speedrunner, if you look at a category for speedrunners, there are the top speedrunners who compete for the world first, the fastest in whatever categories there are. But no one's really interested in the 10th fastest speedrunner in a given category. If I want to watch a speedrun, I want to watch a speedrun of the best, not the 10th best. Who cares? So if you deal with absolutes, it's going to be very difficult. So my argument is, find something that is not an absolute. Don't try to make the biggest, the best, the fastest, because if those are your identity, they can be taken away from you very easily. And then a new game comes along, and then you're no longer the best. Another part that's not easy to do, if you're not the most handsome, if you're not the funniest person, you're also going to be in trouble. There's no denying it. Handsome people who are funny have an outsized advantage compared to the rest of us. And that's just the way it is. So you got to find something else. If you cannot make it as content based on your looks or your wits, then you have to find something else. All right, so we've ruled out that you are not going to be the fastest or the funniest or the best looking streamer. And if you are, all the power to you. Harvest that, milk that for all it's worth. But if that's not sort of where you are, you have to find something else. And I would set it up in sort of core attributes and complementary attributes. There are some things that, yeah, that's part of who you are and part of your community, but it's not something that really will attract. And I see things, and it's also spawned by this industry around Twitch overlays, that kind of thing. Like, yeah, you need to get a certain level of Twitch overlays and emotes and that kind of thing, but there's no one who comes to your channel because you have the best overlays and because you have the best emotes. That's just not something that gets people in the door and keeps them in, but it's something that makes people just feel more at home, and it's something more of a service. So make sure that if you have the crispest audio setup, you have the best lighting setup, you have the best of everything, unless you're a tech YouTuber, it really doesn't matter. You have to be good enough, but if you are the best of the best in this category, it's not something that's really a core attribute. So what you should look at are the things that set you apart. Do you have some kind of talent that sets you aside? Maybe you do music, dancing, you can tell jokes, maybe you have extensive logistics knowledge and try to figure out a way to incorporate that as your brand. Whatever it is, you gotta look hard at yourself and figure out what are the things that you can do that not a lot of other people can do. Because this is the internet. No matter how small the niche is, you're gonna find someone that will mesh with whatever quirky thing that you have, and there'll be enough to get the ball rolling. So that's what we need to look at. You need to look at core things, not complementary things. And yes, looks and wits and funny, those are core attributes. And if you don't got those, you gotta add something else. And I would say get 3 things, because if you only have one thing, then it becomes stale. If your thing is, oh, I can play the guitar. Yeah, but if you're a gaming YouTuber and all you do is just bring out the guitar every time someone subscribes, it gets old a lot quickly. So, figure out a few things that are really, this is your brand. This is a story that people will tell when they say, oh, have you watched this guy? No, what's the streamer? Oh, this guy does something, something, something. That's what you want to find. Let's take me as an example, and that's probably the easiest way to see how I have deliberately looked at the things that set me aside and used that to sort of build my community around those things. Well, first of all, I am not the fastest or the best at any of the games I play, so that's already ruled out. I'm not the most handsome and I'm not the most funny. So already I need to dig deep to find something that can keep people entertained. So I'm just looking at, well, one of the things that sort of set me aside from sort of the stereotypical content creator on YouTube and Twitch is, well, I'm in my 40s. Yeah, that's not that common. I mean, there's some, of course, but it's not common. All right, already there's something interesting there. I'm a dad. That's I have 2 wonderful kids, and that's something that's also a big part of me and who I am. So, well, interesting, yeah. Then my work career is, I did not come from gaming, and I've not been sort of hustling random jobs. No, I've been having an IT career as in corporate IT management for the last 10 years before I started going into content creation. Now that's something that is truly, genuinely unique, because I don't think there are any of those on YouTube and Twitch, not a lot at least, who come into a gaming career with that as baggage. So that means, all right, I know IT development, worked in that for 15 years. I know project management, I know agile development, I know corporate bullshit. I can throw down with the best of them when it comes to corporate bullshit. So is that something we can use? Definitely. Put it in the bag. Let's see what we can get out of that. Lastly, well, I how do I say this without sort of bragging? I have a master's in engineering, master's of engineering, specialized in logistics and transport. I also have an executive MBA. So also for the last 20, 30, I don't know, 25 years, I'd say, let's say 20 years, I've been constantly reading up on current topics on development methodologies and management methodologies and popular psychology and all those things. So I'm well read. I have a good educational background. I think that's also something that definitely sets me apart from the average YouTuber and Twitch streamer. There are definitely also highly educated people around, definitely, but it's something that's still like in the margins. So I'll put that in as some of the part that I would say, this is who I am and sets me aside. So let's start working on those things. Now there are other things, of course. My attention to detail, my inability to accept half-ass solutions is also things that are part of who I am and part of something I want to use, but it's not really something that's more of a learned skill than something that you can actually, than an inherent attribute that you can work with. So we have this bag of attributes and things that make me who I am. And let's see how we would apply that to a gaming career or a gaming brand. And let's just look at the obvious games that sort of ruled out and the obvious games that are working for me. Now, competitive FPS games are probably not going to be good because I'm old and slow, but also the fact that I have kids and they're in bed, and if they need to call, I need to be able to attend them. I need to be able to go to them, and I can't just go like, no, and I'm in the middle of a match, or League of Legends, or that kind of thing, where it's like, this is 30 minutes of intense gameplay where I need to be focused all the time. I can't just pause and leave for a minute. So, there are some categories that already get pushed out, and that means slower games, strategy games, turn-based games are just more for me. Excellent. So those are the games where I can stop and think or stop for a break, but I can also stop and think and plan and talk. So those games fit better for me. So Factorio, Satisfactory, Oxygen not included, perfect games from that category. Games that I've been Dyson Sphere program, games that I've been successful at playing because they fit very well to my style. But also other types of games like Darkest Dungeon, XCOM also fit very well because they have very complex mechanics, and therefore it also, and they're turn-based, so you have to think about what you do before you actually do it. Now, as an engineer, I like the whole idea of planning and scheduling, and I have sort of, let's say, OCD tendency, although OCD is a diagnosis, and here on the internet we just mean it as an unhealthy attention to detail. But yeah, in the internet OCD way, then yeah, I do have a, that's one of the things that I do very, very much, is I have very clean designs, and I do that very consciously. And I don't like half-ass solution. I don't like the, well, that's good enough. So this is something I have a proclivity to do that myself, but I embrace it and I make it part of my brand. So you know it, we have the sacred path, we have the one-offs, you know, those kind of things that sort of make it more unique. And it also means that when you see me design things, it's gonna look nice and it's gonna be effective because it's well crafted, it's well thought out, it's not just haphazardly put together and then we just hack it together and it's good enough and then we move on. No, I don't like that. So it's also something that fits with my attributes and works well with some particular kinds of games. And then of course, the fact that games have to be slower paced means that I can stop and do more educational stuff. I can deliver blueprints in Factorio, I can make tutorials for it. And that fits very well with sort of my demeanor. When I'm live streaming, I can also take breaks and just go on absolute rants about agile development or DevOps or HR or anything like that. And I do, and I love it. And a lot of people actually really like it. I've heard it so many times that I come for the games and I stay for the rants. And it's kind of endearing to me that's a compliment. But it also means that this is something I've cultivated as part of my brand, that these are the things that you can experience during live streams, that I can go on off-tangent rants about the merits of, or the fallacies of a certain type of management strategy. It's something that I can do that not a lot of other people would actually be able to do, and it can resonate with the community that finds those kind of things interesting for a change. So how do I know that it works? Well, there's one compliment that I've been given many times, and it's the best compliment that that confirms to me that the brand is working. This is sort of the brand that I've cultivated. And that's this sentence. It's mainly connected to Factorio, but also recently with Dyson Sphere program. I went in, everyone was on a even footing, and then I went in and I made a pretty good splash on Dyson Sphere program. And I got this comment again and again that after watching your content, I can't watch anyone else. And that is the best comment for me, because that means that my brand has found someone who resonates with this brand, and I have set myself aside from the masses and delivered something that is unique in a way. And if you like this uniqueness, hey, we have a match, and you will stay on my channel, watch my content. Maybe when I play a new game, you might also watch this because you like my style of doing it. And that's really, that compliment is the best damn compliment I could get. It's because it summarizes that what I've been trying to do is actually working. And it might seem harsh that, oh, I can't watch anyone else. No, but the idea is that I have a special way of doing things, and they might be obsessive at times, and some people think it's a bit over the top. My sacred path, and my one off, and my let's tear the whole thing down and move it just slightly. But the people who love it, they absolutely love it, and you're the community that has formed around the content I've made here. So that's how I know that it's working. Also, you know, for me, 100,000 subscribers is a lot. So it means that I must be doing something right, I hope. So to conclude and to wrap up, well, where do we go from here? Well, if you're a content creator or thinking of content creation, or if you just have any kind of your own business or your own product, then think about this in the sense that what are the 3 things that would set you apart? from your competitors. Because yes, they're colleagues, they're competitors, but you have to do something so that when people click on your videos or buy your product, they will come back and do that again. We're not talking here about how to get them to click on the first time. I have another video planned for that specific topic, but this is about making sure that when they come to you, they can clearly see that there's an identity around what you're doing, and that's maybe if you resonate with them, they will stick around, and that's how you build a community, or at least get started on it. So I hope you have enjoyed this little talk. I have several other talks relating to growth and monetization and other things, and marketing and other things that are part of this. Yeah, I treat it as a business. That's maybe because I have a business MBA. Then it is a business that I'm running here, and you have to treat it as such. And I want to just help you maybe get some insights, maybe get some inspiration on what the things that you could do as well in terms of reflection and in terms of just growth for yourself. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have ideas for topics, these kind of non-gaming content, leave them in the comment section below. I really like hearing ideas about these kind of topics that you would like me to go into. And then there's only one thing left to say, and that is the catchphrase: take care and stay effective.